Welcome to the Sugar Hill Podcast, where we focus our lens on the roots of our behaviors and talk about ways to improve our lives in the present, readying us for a journey of chasing our purpose in life. I am your host, Jeremy, author, coach, and speaker, and every day I wake up to help people operate at their highest potential through self-awareness. I hope you walk away with at least one thing you can implement every day to live the life you deserve. Today's episode will continue to break down my first book, A Gift of Peace and Purpose, A Survivor's Journey, specifically The Secret Garden. After listening to today's podcast, you'll be able to learn how to use The Secret Garden as a tool to find peace and purpose. The Secret Garden, in hindsight, is probably one of the most impactful chapters of the book, and it continues to be a theme that is present in my life. Every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year. The Secret Garden is like finding a place within yourself that nobody knows exists. For me, I came across the Secret Garden when I was sitting on my porch in South Carolina. I was looking up at the moon, listening to the trees as the wind whipped through them. I felt the warmth of the citronella candle around my ankles. I felt the coldness of the glass of wine that I was drinking. It was me pulling myself into the present moment by using my senses as a focal point. It was so peaceful. I found it on accident and didn't realize the impact that it started to have on my life. The more that I did it, the more I wanted, because it allowed me to find inner peace. It allowed me to find quietness in my life. I wasn't worried about work. I wasn't worried about bills. I wasn't worried about anyone other than myself. I was just focused on what was happening in the moment, which was stillness. It was as if Mother Nature had introduced herself for the first time, and I fell in love. The Secret Garden goes with you everywhere that you go. The only time that someone is able to come into your secret garden is if you invite them. The Secret Garden is something I use when I need to calm my emotions or allow my emotions to pass like clouds. The Secret Garden is something that I use to hear when people are speaking. The Secret Garden is something that I use when I'm at work and something is complex and I'm trying to understand it. It is truly a stillness within yourself. 5 things that I feel anyone who's trying to find their own secret garden starts with being patient. For 28 years of my life, up until that point, I had not experienced stillness or peace. So I was finding myself frustrated when sometimes I could get to that quiet place and sometimes when I would get distracted. But undoing almost 3 decades of noise was difficult. Be patient with yourself, because you're undoing years of noise and chaos that has been preventing you from thinking and operating from a place of clarity. The next thing would be grounding exercises and really defining them for yourselves. For me, grounding exercises, as I explained earlier, was using my senses as a focal point. I was listening to the wind as it whipped through the trees. I was looking at the stars and the moon. I was smelling the candle. I was feeling the warmth of the candle. I was tasting the wine. those grounding exercises allowed me to hear not only the purity of my thoughts, but what I needed to hear from my highest sense of self. The next thing would be applying grounding exercises. As I said, grounding exercises are used or can be used at any point in time in your life. I especially like to use grounding exercises when emotions are prevalent. When I feel myself getting frustrated, when I feel myself getting anxious or nervous, when I feel that I'm triggered by something, I find ways to use my senses to pull myself present. And I tell people, just give me a moment, let me gather myself so that way I can show up the best for you in this moment. Practicing grounding exercises or applying grounding exercises is important because the more consistent you are with applying grounding exercises, the more space you put between what happens in life and how you respond, making it easier for you to realize the lessons that are disguised as circumstances and people in your life, molding and shaping you for your purpose. Actively applying grounding exercises is not easy. It's not perfection that you're aiming for, it's just consistency. Next would be identifying areas of growth. Typically, those areas are based on what you're triggered by. They are moments when you realize, I've been here before. Moments when you realize you've made the same decision. You end up in the same circumstances with the same people. It's when you realize that there's possibly a better opportunity or a better outcome. An example for me was being in a really difficult relationship. I realized that when I felt lonely, I was triggered by not feeling seen. And what I had to do was pull myself into the present moment by applying grounding exercises and then really peeling back the layers of what was causing that to happen, realizing that it was tied to events that had happened in the past, from youth until young adulthood until now. Things that may have been passed from family member to family member that without them realizing it, they conditioned me to see life the same way, which became my norm and my lens. We all have areas that we need to grow in, and having a secret garden where you can be raw and honest with yourself is necessary to grow. The last thing would be set an intention of healing. Don't go to those deep places just to get stuck. Go there with the intention of healing the trauma, the hurt, the pain, the loss, the grief, all of the emotions that may be preventing you from moving forward. Don't revisit the past from your secret garden with the intention of staying there. That's not productive. Heal the past to make the present something that you can experience from a place of clarity to make the best for your future. As I've said, the secret garden is my favorite place. It is my place where I am surrounded by people and I'm in my own little world. It's my place of accountability. It's my place of calling things as they are, but it's my secret place. And on a journey of chasing purpose and peace, you need a place like the secret garden. This has been the Sugar Hill Podcast. This is Jeremy, signing off.